Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am here to talk about cozy rose fragrances. So when I was going through and doing my fall transition video, I said that Rose Jam was a cozy rose fragrance, and I was like, that would be a great video idea to do cozy roses. So here we are. I've got a whole bunch. I'm just going to jump right in. So the first, I'm going to talk about two together because they're very, very similar fragrances. The first one is Florence from Swiss Arabian, and then I also just want to talk about Rose Gourmand from Zara. These smell very, very similar, and they both smell very, very similar to Roses Vanille from Mancera. Yeah, they're, oh gosh, these are beautiful, like thick, rich, syrupy, vanilla heavy rose fragrances. Yeah, these two smell almost exactly the same. Now I have heard that the Rose Gourmand that I have from Zara is the first one that they ever released, and I've heard that when they this one sold out pretty quickly and then you couldn't get it anymore. But I heard, or I've had people tell me that when they re-released it, when it came back and they re-released it, that it's like a different formulation. They reformulated it, and that it doesn't smell like this anymore, or it doesn't last like this one does anymore. This Zara fragrance lasts forever. This is a beast. It lasts easily as long as the Swiss Arabian. Yeah, these are so similar, and like I said, very, very similar to Roses Vanille from Mancera. I have been able to, I do have a sample of Roses Vanille, and I have been able to test both of these next to it, and either one of these is like a 99% dupe for Roses Vanille in performance, in smell, in everything. So yeah, these are basically, both of these basically they're very sweet. They've got praline, they've got some woods in the base and rose in the middle. So they're just really very sweet, syrupy, decadent rose fragrances. Super cozy, like perfect for fall, winter time. And yeah, if you like sweet rose fragrances, I think you would love them. And if you're somebody that wanted to get your hands on the Zara Rose Gourmand but wasn't able to, you can definitely pick up Florence, and they're basically the exact same fragrance. I know Florence is about twice the price of the Zara, but it's worth it because you really don't need a lot of the Florence. You only need a couple sprays of this, and it will last all day long. So yeah, you're definitely not, if you've got the Florence, you definitely are not missing anything by not having the Rose Gourmand. They're so similar. So anyways, those are the first two that I wanted to talk about. The next one that I want to talk about is a fragrance from Martin Micallef, and this is called Mon Parfum Cristal. And my lid like does not stay on here. I don't know what it is, but my lid just comes right off. It doesn't stay on the bottle at all. But I do love this bottle. I think it's very, very beautiful. This is a niche fragrance, so this one is a little bit more pricey. I found mine on, I can't remember where I found mine, FragranceNet. I might have found mine on FragranceNet and I got it for such a good price. I want to say I paid somewhere between $50 and $60 for this. This is a beautiful, it's not unlike the Florence. They definitely are similar. They don't smell the same, but they are similar type fragrances. This one has, I think it's got some pepper in the top. This one is not quite as sweet and syrupy as Florence, but it is still sweet. This one, instead of having the praline, it's got toffee. It's got rose in the middle. I believe it's got Madagascar vanilla in the base. It's just beautiful. Again, not quite as sweet and syrupy as the Florence, but it is still a really beautiful, sweet, cozy rose. I love this one. It smells different enough from the Florence or from Mancera Roses Vanille that I think it's It's totally worth it to have both of them if you're into fragrances like this. This one lasts forever on me as well. I can get an entire day out of this. It performs really, really well for me. It's just a really beautiful, sweet, yummy, gourmand, cozy rose. I just adore it. So anyways, that is Martine Micallef Mon Parfum Cristal with my lid that does not stay on. Okay, next I have a very, very affordable fragrance from Pacifica. This is one of the coziest rose fragrances ever. This is called Kindred Spirit from Pacifica, and this is rose dust and Palo Santo, and that's basically exactly what it smells like. This is the most beautiful woody rose fragrance ever. This is not sweet. It's got maybe a touch of sweetness, because I think Palo Santo wood just has a touch of sweetness to it naturally. But this is the most beautiful, woody, like slightly incensey, dry rose. It's so beautiful. This smells so much more expensive than it actually is. The only thing about this one is it does not perform well at all. Most Pacifica fragrances don't perform well, and this is no exception. You'll get maybe a couple to 3 hours out of this before you'd have to reapply, but these are so affordable. I think regularly they're $22. I usually wait until Ulta is doing like a buy one get one 40% off or buy one get one 50% off on Pacifica, and that's when I pick up Pacifica products. This is beautiful though. If you like Palo Santo, if you like a drier rose that is not that leans more incensey rather than sweet or gourmand, I think you would really like this. It's stunning. Very, very beautiful. So anyways, super cozy, great for fall, winter. This is just the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful rose fragrances in my collection, hands down. It is stunning. Yeah, you could put this in a niche bottle and I would not know that I wasn't smelling a really expensive niche fragrance. I just wish it lasted longer. So anyways, that is Kindred Spirit from Pacifica. Okay, and then these next three that I'm going to talk about in succession they're all very similar to each other. So I'm going to start with the most expensive and then go on down to the least expensive. The first one I want to talk about is Elie Saab Essence No. 1 Rose. It took me literally years to get my hands on a bottle of this. It has been discontinued, and it just started to kind of pop up again within the last few months. I believe I ordered mine from Fragrance Buy, one of the Canadian websites. This is a stunning rose fragrance, super, super cozy. And I don't think that there are no other notes listed in here except for a whole bunch of different rose notes. Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, centifolia rose. It's basically just a whole bunch of different rose oils. I think this will be very dependent on your skin chemistry as to what kind of an experience you have with this, because it is just a bunch of different rose oils. This has like a beautiful, slightly sweet, syrupy quality to me though. And it's got kind of it's got kind of a dried rose petal feel to me as well. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful rose. Kind of syrupy, almost like a rose liqueur kind of feel to it. It's just a stunning rose fragrance. Like I said, slightly sweet. It's got a little bit of a dry feel to it, and this one lasts pretty good. I would say I can get anywhere between 6 and 8 hours out of this, depending on how much I spray. Yeah, it performs really, really well for me, and I love it. But I've got some alternatives to this in case you can't find this. Let's talk about this next one. This is a Nina Ricci fragrance. This is Nina Ricci Rose L'Extase Eau de Parfum, and this is stunning. This is a little bit more complex than the Elie Saab, though Francis Kurkdjian is the perfumer for both fragrances, and they do smell very, very similar. So the difference is, whereas the Elie Saab is just a whole bunch of different rose notes. The Lex Stays has peppers and things in the top. It's got Tafe Rose in the middle, if that's how you say that. It's also got some woods in the base. It's also got some vanilla in it. So this does have a lot more going on than the Essence No. 1. And it is more complex, but you get the same, it definitely has the same feel. It's still that beautiful kind of dark, syrupy, rich, warm, cozy rose fragrance. And then it's also got benzoin in the base, I believe. With the vanilla and the benzoin in the base, it just makes it extra cozy and syrupy and rich smelling. Again, this one is much more complex than the Essence No. 1, but same feel. Really, really beautiful. This is a much more affordable option, and this one definitely performs about the same as the Essence No. 1. I can definitely get 6 to 8 hours out of this depending on how much I spray. It's just a beautiful rose, a beautiful, warm, cozy, soft, well-rounded rose fragrance. So anyways, that is Nina Ricci Lex Stays. So this next one has been discontinued. This is a fragrance from Yves Rocher. It is called Rose Absolute Eau de Parfum. This is part of the Secrets d'Essences line, and oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So this one is a little bit different than the first two I talked about because it's less complex than the Nina Ricci, though it does smell quite similar. It is less complex. This has got cinnamon in the top. It's got rose in the middle, and then I think some woods and tonka bean in the base. This is definitely the most different from the other two, but you'll still have the same kind of experience. It's got the same feel. It's a really beautiful, warm, cozy, rich. This one is not as sweet as the other two because it doesn't have vanilla in it. It just has the tonka bean that gives it this really beautiful kind of roundness. It really gives it a kind of softness. This is beautiful though. The cinnamon is pretty prominent. So you've got this gorgeous spiced quality. It's like this beautiful spiced, warm rose. I love this. Again, it is a little bit different than the other two because it's got the same, it definitely has the same feel as the Lex Stays or the Essence No. 1. The only problem with this one is it does not perform well at all. So I only get maybe 3 or 4 hours out of this before I would need to reapply. Now, I've had mine sitting, I've had this for a couple years now, and it's been sitting obviously all that time in a dark cabinet. The liquid is darkening up the longer it sits, and when you look this up online, you're gonna see a bottle of perfume that is not this color. You're gonna see a light pink liquid. It's definitely not light pink. You're gonna get this beautiful, dark, rich, almost brownish red liquid. But this is a stunning fragrance. I am so happy that I got this. Again, it has been discontinued. So if you ever come across this like on Mercari or, one of the reseller sites, definitely if you're into these kinds of fragrances, snap it up because it's such a beautiful take on a warm, cozy rose. It's definitely worth having. I got super, super lucky. I came across my bottle on Mercari for $15. I could not believe it. I snapped it up with a quickness. I do love it, even though this does not perform very well. That's okay. I will totally reapply this as many times as I need to because it is a beautiful, warm rose fragrance. So anyways, that is Rose Absolute Eau de Parfum Secrets d'Essences from Yves Rocher. Okay, this next one is a newer one to my collection, and I cannot wait. I bought this in the middle, or I bought this just as it was starting to warm up this year, so I have not been able to give this a good full wear test, though I have worn it to bed once, and it is beautiful. This is Lalique Encre Noire pour Elle, and this is another one that has been discontinued. I looked all over for this. I almost way overpaid for this because I wanted it so badly, knowing that it was a beautiful rose fragrance. I'm so glad I waited because, again, I was able to find this on the Canadian website. It popped back up for a really good price. I think I paid in the $40 range for this. Somewhere between $40 and $50. This is cozy, but it's cozy in a different way because this is a clean, soapy rose. And this has ambrette in the top. And I just love ambrette. I think it brings a coziness to any fragrance. It's got, ambrette just has this beautiful, like cloudy, fuzzy, warm quality to it. And it just makes any fragrance, in my opinion, smell cozy. I just love ambrette in fragrance. And I also, it's got a beautiful, very prominent rose note in the mid. And then it's got some woods in the base. It's just a really beautiful, like cozy, clean, soapy rose. It's funny because it's called Encre Noire and it comes in this like deep black bottle, but I don't think that the bottle matches the actual scent. It's definitely not this like dark, mysterious rose like the bottle would have you believe. It's more of like a really beautiful, clean, soapy rose. And the coziness doesn't come from like spices or amber or anything like that. The coziness comes from the ambrette. So it's a really beautiful one. It's cozy in a different way than the others. I couldn't tell you about wear time on this one yet because, again, I haven't given this a good wear test. As of yet, though I could, this would probably do just fine in the heat because it is more of a clean, soapy rose. So yeah, I'll leave this one out. I'll give it a good wear test and then it'll pop back up in a what I wore last week video. And I'll definitely let you know more about how this performs. So anyways, that is Lalique Encre Noire pour Elle. Okay, next is the perfume that started this whole video. This is Lush Rose Jam, and oh gosh, to me this is the like ultimate cozy rose fragrance. I love this fragrance. This one basically says that it's just, if I remember correctly, this one is basically just like rose oil, lemon, some spices, and geranium. I feel like it's got something else in it. I'm not totally sure what. But yeah, and that's all it's got in the ingredients. It's got Pakistani rose absolute, rose oil, geranium oil, Sicilian lemon oil. Yeah, and that's basically it. But I do know it's got some kind of beautiful spices in there. The lemon keeps it very, very bright. The geranium adds a kind of earthy quality to the rose. And then you've got some beautiful spices. And this just ends up being, it's got a slight sweetness to it as well. But it just ends up being the most beautiful, cozy rose. It's also, Rose Jam is a good name for it because it does have like a jamminess to it. It does smell like maybe a rose jam. Like maybe what a rose jam would smell like. It's really, really beautiful. I love this fragrance. Again, it is like the ultimate cozy rose to me and I just adore it. I layer this over, I have like a massage bar that I use as lotion and I layer this over the lotion and it will get me through 12 hours, I mean, easily. It performs like a beast. I adore this fragrance. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite Lush fragrances besides Vanillary. I just adore it. So anyways, that is Rose Jam from Lush. Okay, next we have a Matthew Meleg fragrance. I could not do a cozy rose without including this fragrance. This is Very Cherry Rose Chocolate Patchouli from Matthew Meleg. this is beautiful. This is something like, I don't know, this to me is kind of a cross between Lancome's Oud Bouquet and Rose's Berberanza. The longer this one sits though, the more that beautiful dark powdery chocolate note starts to come out. Yeah, this is just a beautiful, sweet. Yes. And once you get it sprayed out of the bottle, that dark chocolate, like powdery chocolate, starts to come out. This has got lychee in the top. So there's this beautiful kind of fruitiness. It smells like candied roses and chocolate. It's so beautiful. This one gets more and more beautiful as it ages. Yeah, this is kind of like a Dua fragrance where it really needs to sit for a good couple months and macerate, and then the full glory will come out. Yeah, it is. It's like this beautiful, sweet, candied rose and dark powdered chocolate. It's smooth. It's well-rounded. Oh, it is so beautiful. I can't wait for cooler weather. This one is definitely going to go straight to the top of my list to pull out and wear. I'm just so excited to give this one a good wear test. So anyways, super cozy, beautiful candied chocolate roses. So this is Very Cherry Rose Chocolate Patchouli from Matthew Meleg. Okay, and then last but not least is another gorgeous cozy rose fragrance. This is Elizabeth and James Nirvana Rose. And these Nirvana fragrances, or Elizabeth and James Nirvana fragrances, are simple. They usually only have three notes in them. This is May Rose, Geranium, and Vetiver. And this is, again, there's no sweetness in this. The coziness comes from the earthiness of the geranium and the beautiful, kind of slightly sweet, grassy vetiver. And then, of course, a beautiful rose, just pure rose. This is a gorgeous, dark, earthy, dry, cozy rose. I just love this fragrance. This is for those of you that don't like sweet, you don't like anything candied smelling, you don't want anything gourmand, you just want this beautiful, kind of dry, earthy, true rose fragrance. Without smelling dated, without smelling mature. It's just a stunning rose. So anyways, that is Elizabeth and James Nirvana Rose. And that is going to be it, guys. Those are all of the cozy rose fragrances that I have in my collection. I do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.